HSLDA. Let me show you a little bit around the chemistry course. All right, I think what we'll do today is we'll go over the syllabus just to show you folks and talk to you guys about what's going on and all of that stuff. So let me pull up the syllabus here. It takes a little bit to load. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'll probably open this up in a separate file. So you saw I clicked there to open it up into the Google Doc. And then I'll probably just go to the home section here. So, again, my name is HSLDA. I'm not going to put my email address in here because I haven't updated my email address, but I will have it in there when the class starts. Your classroom teacher, I'm the master teacher for the course, which means I've created the course, but your classroom teacher is the one who's going to be taking you through this course. So I'm actually working with them as well. But their name's going to go here, and that's the person you're going to be primarily emailing to get all of your help with your class. They're going to be holding live online sessions, and so they'll put in their time that they need. So we're going to be covering chemistry, which is a laboratory science offered to high school students, typically taken between the grades 10 and 12. This course provides an overview of periodic table, molecular structures, acid and bases, gas laws, balancing equations, oxidation reduction, and stoichiometry. It is taught using a very hands-on approach and lab work. I'm assuming that we're going to be doing this to a high school level. You're expected to read at a high school level and comprehend and study independently and all of this stuff. Um, Here's the chapters that we're going to be working on, and we might not get to chapter 17, but we might, you know what I mean? I'm hoping that we'll get to there. Um, but we'll definitely be covering all of those other chapters. We're going to be using Bob Jones University 4th edition. You're going to need to go out and purchase this on your own. And we're also using Microchem Lab Manual and the Microchem Kit. Actually, I should probably update this to say 1st edition. There's a newer edition, the 2nd edition that's out, but it's about $40 more expensive. And I didn't feel like those lab experiments really, extra amount of lab experiments you could do in the 2nd edition justified that cost. So I'm trying to keep the cost down. So I got the not outdated, but the older 1st edition. We're gonna have the way that we transmit a lot of the information is through reading the textbook, but we'll also have a weekly live class that you'll be attending. Some of the chemistry labs we're going to be covering is paper chromatography, electroconductivity, and so on and so forth. You're going to have quizzes and exams and homework. And I'll show you folks around the course a little bit after this, so that way you can see exactly what's going on and how to find your assignments. This is all really important information that you're going to need. Pretty much everything is due on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I think there's maybe only one or two exceptions throughout the whole year where I have something due on a Monday or a Thursday. But everything is pretty much due on the same, on a Wednesday or a Saturday. And for the majority of them are probably due on Saturdays. I would highly recommend that you turn in assignments when they are due. In fact, I do not accept any late submissions after an assignment has been closed. So, if you have extenuating circumstances that prevent you from turning the assignment in late, you need to let your teacher know at least 2 days before the due date um, and discuss an alternative plan. If this isn't done, then you're going to receive a 0, and I cannot make exceptions. The way the homework is graded, or the way the class is graded, is going to be 65% for the homework. The chemistry labs is 20%, and the quizzes and exams are 15%. So your homework is the majority of your grade, but please keep in mind that the chemistry labs are going to be weighted very heavily, and also the exams. So you're going to want to make sure that you pay special attention to those, because all of those are actually single retries as opposed to multiple attempts. Let's see. I expect that you complete your homework. You can read my late work policy, and the course exams. Um, and the course schedule. Let me show you folks how to get to the course schedule. That's probably one of the most important parts of this class. So back to our course. Here's what your course looks like. We have a course homepage. We have a section that's called Student Resources. And as a quick hint, just so that way it's not so crazy trying to navigate all of these things, you can see that if you click this little triangle right here, it will kind of scrunch up that view. All right, there's a hidden for teachers' eyes only section, and that's where I keep a lot of the teachers' resources that I share with just the teachers. Let's see, actually, this thing shouldn't have been here, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, that module is gone. All right, what I did was I broke each section into weeks. So you have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, all of that. And these sections aren't going to be, it's not going to look as long as what I'm showing you right now, because as you can see, these sections are only going to be open to you. Right now, it's not published. That means I can see it, but you can't see the assignment. And it's not going to be unlocked until the 20th of August. Well, and this thing starts on the 27th of August. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the weeks for you 1 week before you are assigned it. So that way you can finish all of the stuff that is pertinent to the week you're in, but you can also, if you want to work ahead, you can work 1 week ahead. But I won't be letting you work like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ahead. Sometimes what happens in that is the students kind of just get a little bit too confused when they work too far ahead because the teacher hasn't had time to explain the material to them. Also, another thing that students get really freaked out about is that the assignments seem to be so many assignments, but I would like for you to look that a lot of these assignments are worth 0 points. And a lot of people ask me, well, why do you even have them in there? And the reason being is because I want to remind you to read the textbook. And I actually have all the instructions of what I expect you to do at the beginning of each assignment or each thing I put inside here. So if I want you to read a textbook, I'd say read the textbook. If this is an assignment, I say this is an assignment. And if it's a single attempt, it says it right there. You have 1 attempt for this. Here's a lab, single attempt. Now, what's going on with the 0 point things? Well, basically, I want to remind you, I would like for you to read the assignment by August 28th. And the only way I can make that be associated with a due date is to make it an assignment that's worth 0 points. So if you don't finish this assignment, it's not going to count against you. I'm just highly recommending it. It's not really a quiz, even though it comes up as a quiz. I don't even think it asks you any questions. Okay. It says, did you read this section of the textbook? You can say true or false or yes or no. It's not going to count against you or for you. And you can also say, yes, I watched this video because I would like for you to watch this video because this is relevant to our class. So where I have a lot of the example problems that I worked out for you in the section is actually in those watch videos or assignment videos. So in your class, I did a lot of example videos that I recorded for you. So let's check out this thing right here, Chapter 1 preview. So I give you kind of a, hey, this is what the chapter is all about. And I talk to you about like what is upcoming and what's gonna happen and what we're expecting to see in this chapter. So you can submit quiz, but it's not going to count against you or for you. It's just a place to keep all of the information. Let me show you another thing real quick. All right, I'm just going to choose something at random. Let's choose let's choose something from chapter 3. Let's see. There's a read textbook. There we go. Read textbook. Let's just try this one. All right, so on this date, I'm telling you, I'd like for you to read this textbook. And what I did was I recorded a bunch of example videos for you. Again, they're worth 0 points, so whether you watched them or not, they're really for your benefit. So you don't need to answer these questions right here. But I recorded the example videos for you, so you can click on here and go through the example problems that I set up for you. So basically, that's where I have my example problems, is when I tell you to read the textbook, and I did some example problems that are associated with that section of the textbook just to kind of make sure that it helps you out. Now, here's the great advantage of why I set up the course the way um, I have, where I have 0 point assignments just to tell you to read things, is I told you that I would share with you the calendar and how to find it. If you click right here on the left-hand side where it says calendar, it will show you the calendar of all of the things you have that are due. Again, this is going to look very cluttered, but um, it's because I have these 0 point assignments like your watch video. It doesn't require you to submit anything. You just have to watch the video. Or the read the textbook, you need to just read the textbook. And the only way I can get this to show up in the calendar is to make it a quote unquote quiz when it's not really a quiz. It's just something to remind you to do something. And so this is where you're going to get your schedule from, is you look in this calendar and it tells you exactly what you need to do by which date. So all of the assignments over here are due dates. These chapter 1 assignments are due on Wednesday, whereas these ones are due on Saturday. Now, after the assignment is due, the assignment closes out and I won't be able to open it up again. I'd highly recommend that you turn things in early, not just on time, but early, and that way you can avoid any troubles that of maybe turning it in a minute after the assignment gets closed. Sometimes with computers that could be a very big headache. So that's basically the course, and that's basically the course, and that's the syllabus in a nutshell. Let me know if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything. There are a few other sections I want to show you. Student resources is a good place. I wouldn't have this whole thing open every single time, but this is a good place to find the presentations that your teachers are probably going to be using to lecture from. So if you want to kind of get an idea of what we're going to be, some of the resources we're going to be using, to find the syllabus, it's here in the student resources. You don't need to have this thing open every single time, so I would probably leave that closed. And then maybe as the weeks finish, I would close the weeks just so that way things don't get so cluttered. Once you finish turning in all the assignments for that week, you can close the week. You have labs that are worth about 200 points. And the only reason why I did that is because I'm trying to give you an idea of how important they are in comparison to the assignments. The way I broke down assignments is I basically made all questions worth 5 points, and then anything that has to do with a major calculation is worth 10 points. So you have homework assignments, and some of the homework assignments are single attempts. And mainly that's because the teacher has to hand grade those. And so I don't want to have to make a teacher hand grade and then re-hand grade and re-hand grade until, infinite amount of times before the student, so that way the student will bombard them with work to do. And so what I did was I made it so that way a lot of the assignments are multiple attempts, and you can take this assignment as many times as you want before the due date, and the computer will only take the highest grade that you've got for that assignment. So the majority of your assignments are actually multiple attempts, and there's very few single attempt assignments. And so that's a really nice thing for you folks. You'll be able to really get the score that you want. let's see. There's homework assignments, and then I even have some quizzes in here, and I have more homework assignments and read textbooks. Yeah, to be honest with you, that is pretty much the whole class in a nutshell, as far as what how I laid it out and what's coming up. So please enjoy this year of chemistry. I look forward to helping you out and answering any questions. Please let me know if you need any help navigating anything, or maybe if I've um, written something down in a way that confuses you. Please let me know. Also, let me know if there's any answers that are wrong in the computer tried to give you the wrong answer. I can always go back and switch it and correct those things, but you have to forgive us if we've made any kind of human errors in putting in the wrong answer and whatnot. I'm definitely open to fixing those errors. You just have to let us know. All right, thank you so much for your time, and aloha.